Hey everyone, my name is Venelin, and in the next couple of videos I'm going to show you the basics of PyTorch. Now PyTorch is a library for machine learning or deep learning created by Facebook, and it is currently supported by a lot of researchers and developers. So the official site is pytorch.org, and when you open it you can see the slogan from research to production. From my personal industry-based experience, this is really the case. I mean, there are very few libraries that do deliver on what they are saying. And while PyTorch is simple, you can do pretty much everything as it goes with deep learning with it. And in the next couple of videos, I'm going to start with the installation of PyTorch and the very basics of it. What are tensors, how you can train your models with it, and other interesting stuff. And we are going to go from there to building whole deep learning or machine learning applications with it. Let's get started. In order to install PyTorch, you need Python. So the thing that I'm using as a version manager of Python is called pyenv. It's a really popular library available on GitHub. And there are a lot of explanations on where and how you can get it installed on your machine. The good news is that it works for Linux, Windows, and macOS. So you can go ahead and download and install it on your own. And once that you have this, we can continue with installing the version of Python that we are going to use. And for this case, I'm going to install Python 3.10.9. And it says that it is already an existing installation, but I'm still going to redo the installation here. All right, so the installation is complete. As you can see, it took some time to do that, and it can be a lot slower or faster depending on your machine. And I'm going to continue with the next command, which is going to create a virtual environment for us using the Python version that we just created. And I'm going to call this virtual environment learn-pytorch. This should be pretty quick. All right. So now that we have this, I'm going to essentially list all of the virtual environments. And in here, you should have, learn-pytorch. Okay, so in order to use this Python virtual environment, I'm going to specify a local file called python.version. But first, I'm going to create a project called learn-pytorch, and I'm going to enter the directory. Here, let me just clear this. I'm currently in this directory. It is empty. And now I'm going to use vim to create a python.version file. And here I'm going to create learn-pytorch or use the version learn-pytorch. If you're using ZSH, you should probably have a flag that is showing you, or UI that is showing you that you're currently using the correct version. I'm going to check this by typing python.version, and this should be the version that we just installed. Now that I am in this directory learn-pytorch and we have the correct virtual environment version, I'm going to install some dependencies or libraries using pip, and those would be Black, isort, and Flake 8. We are going to use those in Visual Studio Code, which I'm going to use in the next couple of videos as well. Let's run through this, and this should install all of them. Next, I'm going to start Visual Studio Code in the current directory, and I'm going to do that using code dot for the current directory, and this should pretty much open an empty Visual Studio Code project. And here I'm going to create a new folder called VSCode. .vscode, and in here I'm going to place settings.json file. So these settings are going to be specific for this project. And here I'm going to essentially get all of the settings that I'm using. Also, I would like to show you the extensions that are required for this Python installation. I'm using pylens, also Python. These are both provided by Microsoft. Also, I'm using the isort extension, which is again provided by Microsoft. And I believe these are the required extensions that we need in order to run this. So I'm using Black as a formatting provider. I'm using isort. So this will essentially sort the imports in every file in this project. And once I hit save, the imports are going to be organized automatically. And the language server is going to be the pylens, which is the extension provided by Microsoft right here. So now that this looks quite good, I'm going to go to the Explorer and I'm going to create a new file called main.py. So you can see that the Visual Studio Code is automatically picking up the virtual environment that I'm in, and this should be running just great. So the first thing that I'm going to do is test the installation, write out hello world, run the code, and we get hello world in here. Let me check that if the formatting is working. Yeah, as you can see, once I hit save, the extra lines are getting removed. So this looks great. Next, I'm going to continue with installing PyTorch. And to do that, I'm going to go back to the PyTorch website. I'm going to go to this install button. And there is a section called Start Locally, which is the initial or the first version that you might want to go ahead in. And the current version is 1.13.1. I'm using Linux on this machine. I'm going to use pip, and I'm going to get CPU installation. So this is essentially the command that we need in order to download PyTorch. So I'm going to go to the directory of the project, paste in the command, and let it run. So this will go and use the cached version that I've already pre-downloaded for the library and install all of it. So this looks pretty good. It's currently installing all the dependencies. As you can see, this is suggesting Torch Vision and Torch Audio as well. I'm not really sure that you really need those in order to install Torch, but I'm going to stick with the default installation, at least for these videos. All right, so let's go ahead and check if PyTorch is correctly installed. So I'm going to go and import Torch, and I'm going to print a random number using PyTorch, torch.rand. Maybe the autocomplete isn't working yet, but it gets highlighted. All right, we have the random number. Let me just close and reopen VSCode and have a look at the rand. If we get the autocomplete, yeah, now we do. So this should solve that. The autocomplete seems to be working. What happens if I print two random numbers? Yeah, if I call item, this is incorrect behavior since we have a tensor. Great. And this is the tensor that is printed using the two random numbers. All right, I'm going to stick to this and call the item. Yeah, everything is working perfectly. All right, so in the next video, I'm going to show you the basics of tensors. I'll see you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.